Engines?
Yes, it is.
Hello, Eric's Erupting Engines. This is the commissioner of the Streak to the Finish NASCAR Fantasy League.
Nice to hear from you.
I do apologize for our tardiness. We had some issues with internal stuff going on with the league, but we're in good shape right now. Don't have an official backdrop, so I apologize for the lack of internal marketing, but we'll get that going for next season, so I apologize in advance. So, Eric's Erupting Engines, we got a lot to talk about. Super Bowl 12 Media Day. What are your thoughts so far getting to the Super Bowl, knocking off two top seeds to get there? What are your thoughts about AJ Allmendinger, Bubba Wallace, both roster moves, playing the percentages, going with your gut? Explain to the studio audience what your thoughts were as you went about this.
Going up against Kyle Busch in a road course was always going to be a difficult move. And first off, we'd like to thank Alex Bowman of the 48 car for getting us to the playoffs, taking us from week one until the postseason began. But looking at the numbers, it became pretty clear that Alex Bowman was not going to have a good race out in the racetrack in the road course. So we went with a road course king in AJ Allmendinger, basically attempting to follow in the footsteps of Nick's Nitro, who made a similar move back in the day. But in this case, it worked out as AJ Allmendinger was the only driver of 8 cars in the postseason to get a top 10, and Alex Bowman got a DNF. So it was a good move for me there. I'd like to thank Allmendinger for all he did for the team. Going through that bout with dehydration, clearly overheated, made everything great for us. You know, we are very grateful. And then for Bubba Wallace, Wallace was a hot car going into Michigan, looked like the front runner for me. I knew I needed to make a move as Allmendinger was not going to be racing in Michigan. So picking up Wallace was a bit of a risk, but looking at the numbers, he was a good driver out in Michigan. His car's been running well at tracks like Michigan, and he's just been pretty successful lately. Getting second place is always a huge accomplishment for him. So he looked great. The Toyotas are running great out there, so happy for Bubba Wallace as well. Of note, it was fun going up against Ross Chastain, and Chastain obviously had a Cinderella-type year for our league here, but unfortunately for him, he fell just short of making it to the Stockcar Super Bowl. But my thoughts for the whole process was just play the percentages, look at the numbers, and go with the road course king, and then a guy who's great on drafting courses.
Okay. Excellent research by Eric's Erupting Engines. Defending champ going into Richmond. Now, obviously you're well aware of throughout the season, you could become only the second GM in league history to repeat as champion in this league. Kenny Senior Intimidators did it in 1995. It hasn't been done since. I think it's 27 plus years if my calculations are correct. So Eric's Erupting Engines, what are your thoughts of that pressure to get to this spot when not many defending champs have gotten this far? What are you thinking about now? Because this next decision that you make could impact your chance to repeat. And only one other GM in league history has made a roster move the Saturday before the Stockcar Super Bowl. And that was Nick's Nitro in 2011, picking up Marcus Ambrose for the Watkins Glen Road Course.
First off, it's an honor to be mentioned in the same sentence as Ken Senior Intimidators, how he repeated as champion back in 95. It's an honor. It's great. It's always something that the minute I joined the league, I saw that and I said, okay, it would be a dream to join him in that elite company. But we're putting that behind us. We're ignoring it to the best of our abilities. We don't want the pressure to get to us or our drivers. We just want to focus on the end game and focus on doing better than Kyle Larson, which is easier said than done. Larson is a great opponent, great driver, has one of the fastest cars, and in a track like Richmond, Larson is definitely a favorite. So it's going to be difficult, but anything's possible. We have our hopes up. We were underdogs in the first two races of the postseason, came out, got ourselves together, and underdogs get hungry too, and they got to eat. So we're hoping that we can finish our run like the 2017 Eagles.
Okay, Eric Erupting Engines giving us his state of affairs of what he thinks is going to happen. All right, Eric Erupting Engines, you are co-defending champion. Your close friend Patrick's pedal to the metal didn't make the playoffs this year. Now, be honest, has Patrick signaled to you anything this week where he says, oh, I think you should go with this driver? No, go with this driver. Obviously, you have a move to make, and this could, like I said, impact your quest to become a champion for the second year in a row. So have you thought about who you want to grab, who you thought about? This broadcast is going to be simulcast through the channels of YouTube, and your opponent probably will be listening to this later on. So you don't have to show your hand, but it's up to you if you're that confident.
There are 4 drivers that we are interested in.
Wow, 4.
And of course, I'm currently waiting for qualifying, because the last thing I want to do is pick up, hypothetically, Kurt Busch, have him wreck in qualifying and get a concussion and end up missing the race, because then I have no roster moves to make. So I'm sitting on my hands here waiting for qualifying to be done. I believe I know which one of the drivers I will be going with. There are 2 guys that come to mind for the top 2. I will not be revealing who they are, but it shouldn't be too surprising, and we shall see what happens. As for the original part of the question, I was talking to Patrick Pedal to the Metal, and I did kind of hint I was interested to see who he would pick up, and he told me he'd tell me, and I said, you know what? I don't need to hear it. I don't want to hear it, because then if he tells me a person, I pick up that person, and they do bad, he'll feel guilty. He'll think he influenced me. I have plenty of people I'm going to be talking to, including a family member of some NASCAR royalty. So we shall see what happens. We shall see how qualifying goes. Looking forward to it. That'll be later tonight in about a couple hours as the time of this phone call. So a move will be made at some point either tonight or early tomorrow morning.
Okay. As you're full aware, all roster moves have to be in within 30 minutes of the race, and then rosters get frozen, which I'm sure you're well aware of.
Yes.
Okay, we have a couple of questions. We have some social media questions on Stockcar Super Bowl 12 Media Day here. Obviously, the logo, I believe, your marketing department of Eric's Erupting Engines is repeat at Richmond marketing. That's what's been going on. I've seen flyers around the track. I've seen Facebook posts. It's all over. It's gone virtual. Eric's Erupting Engines, repeat at Richmond. Get your tickets now. Is that true?
Yes, it is. It's the hope. It's the prayer, of course. We have some bulletin board material as well from our previous conversation with the owner of Tom's Turbo Racers, where he said, quote, I have a 90% chance of winning, end quote. So that's right there on the bulletin board. We're ready for it. We have that circled. We have that highlighted. We're ready to go. We want to make sure that he does not get that 90% chance. He has the 10% where he will ideally fall just short. We're hoping that that's the case. But yes, our slogan is repeat at Richmond, ? Sounds perfect, looks great, and of course, short track racing is always fun.
Okay, now we have a anonymous Facebook post from the Connecticut legislator offices in Connecticut. It's believed that he has received a communication from somebody in your marketing team that you've already discussed with the town of Connecticut in their offices of their government that you want to close down certain blocks for a championship parade near your house. Is that true?
Uh, well, there's always fake news that gets spread across the internet. Can't believe everything you hear. Of course, we don't want to get cocky. We we did talk. We did submit plans way back in the day before the season began, as was requested by the state government. They asked us, "Hey, we heard that you are now a solo owner. If you end up making the Super Bowl, they said finals, and I had to correct them. And if they said if you end up making the Super Bowl, we need to have a rough route of what you'd like for a potential parade, and I gave them a rough route. So it's not 100% false information, but it has been dated. If you look at the dates from that would be back in early January of 2022 when those plans were submitted. So we're not getting cocky here. They're starting to dust off the prints. They're hoping they want to see the trophies here in Connecticut for the second year in a row.
Okay, so there could be truth to the rumor that Connecticut legislator is aware. All right, okay, all right. So we have another communication from Twitter. This is Jeffrey from South Carolina. He owns a Jasper engine shop, and he said that if you win the championship, he would like to have one of his logo of Jasper engines affiliated with Eric's erupting engines because it would build marketing for him, build marketing for you. Is that truth to that rumor? Or have you contacted Mary Ellen in the league office to submit paperwork with that via fax? Because that could be something lucrative for your race organization.
See, I have not heard about that yet. I'm sure that it's currently sitting in my marketing department. I'm sure I will have an intern. I have an intern flagging me right now, so I'm sure he probably just got the news about the potential deal, so I'll have to read up on everything. I want to make sure that this gentleman from South Carolina, he's on the up and up, because we do not want to be affiliated with someone that's potentially a liability for our company and our name and our brand. We only want to have the best people on our side working with us. But we shall see. I'm hoping that this deal can come through. But of course, I know that even if the deal was in the works, my lawyers would tell me, don't say anything that could potentially be used against you. You don't want to spill the beans. And I know that I will have to contact Mary Ellen if this potential deal is true.
Okay, all right, that's good to know because obviously Mary Ellen is very on top of things. Right now she's not here. I think she's with her visiting her aunt in California right now, but she'll be back tomorrow for just in time for the race. Okay, so Eric's erupting engines. This part of the segment, it's true or false. Does Eric erupting engines like? This is from. What was this from? Jeremiah in Idaho. Do you like to eat peanut butter and jelly during the week as a race GM?
True for Fridays.
Oh, you're a PBJ Friday guy. Okay, very nice, very nice. This is Hank from the Connecticut Garbage Disposal Company. He wants to know, does your parents have to remind you to put the garbage out on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays?
The good thing for us is we only have trash pickup on Wednesdays, and I am very on top of it. I make sure that the garbage and recyclings are sorted properly for the garbage men and women of the great state of Connecticut. I don't want to make their lives more miserable than they have to be. So that rumor is false. As I keep it in the back of my mind, I do it myself.
Okay. Is it true that you're still want to get a this is oh no wait this is Lisa from a affiliate of a race I guess the sponsorship from last year's championship team. They're still waiting for you to come by this specific place. I can't mention it because of copyright infringement, to get a picture with the other representatives of this company that has to have they're kind of like they're a delivery service, and they're kind of like purple overnight. So they're kind of wanting to get that group picture, and they haven't, gotten your request yet. It's been a little bit overdue. Is that true? That you're still trying to figure that out?
That is true. However, I don't want to drag people's names through the mud, but I was not the solo champion of the team. I did have a co-owner, and it would not feel right to not have the co-owner and the fellow co-owner included in the photo. So at some point in time, when the current owner of Patrick's Pedal the Metal, Mr. Patrick, is with me or I am with him, we will get that done. We will submit the request once we have it planned.
Okay.
Once we have it.
All right, so now let's move to this segment of Stockcar Super Bowl 12 Media Day. We haven't talked much about it. You mentioned it earlier. Tom's Turbo Racers. This is his first Stockcar Super Bowl appearance. He's been in the league 6 or 7, 8 years. He has Kyle Larson, great driver, made it to the semifinals last year. This year he made it to the Super Bowl. What are your thoughts about Tom's Turbo Racers? Do you think Kyle Larson could be defeated on Stockcar Super Bowl 12 tomorrow? What are your thoughts about, Tom Turbo Racing pretty much guaranteeing that he's going to win?
I think that Tom Turbo Racing's a little bit cocky right now. You get the cockiness for making your first Super Bowl. I completely understand that. But we've seen it before. When people make their first Super Bowl, their first championship, sometimes their cockiness gets the best of them, and their overconfidence is their downfall. We've seen it in certain sporting leagues that I don't know if I can mention the name of for copyright infringement, but during a big game in February, we saw this with a young, talented team. They were overconfident, and that got the best of them. But I think that Tom Turbo Racer is great man, great person. I've only talked to him in a conference call one time, but he seemed like a very up and up person, and he's in the league, so I know he passes the Mary Ellen test, which is easier said than done. He has his finances in order. He's paid all his fines and everything like that. So we'll have to see what happens if Kyle Larson is beatable or not. It's going to be tough. Richmond is a very Kyle Larson friendly track, but nothing's impossible. Nothing's impossible. And the repeat in Richmond is definitely possible.
Okay. All right, Eric's Erupting Engines. We're at this part of the segment of the show where it's the sound off portion. Pretty much you have the whole control of the next minute to say whatever you want to say about the league, the playoffs, what you think about the chances. We also have my little mascot here, Touchdown Teddy here, jumping in, getting in on the camera, so we apologize that. But so you have total control of the mic, what you feel, what's going on. So give us your take, uninterrupted, unedited.
Well, first things first, I'm grateful that this was my first year as a solo owner. It was a great honor to be asked if I wanted to continue my membership in the league as a solo owner. It's a great honor to have made the Stockcar Super Bowl as a solo owner. And it's an honor to go up against someone like Tom Turbo Racers in the finals. His first time making the finals is always fun. It's always exciting. I'm sure he's looking forward to the race as much as I am. But I do want to let him know that we have received some endorsements from well-known people across the sport. We do have a family member of NASCAR royalty that is rooting us on. We do have the driver from last year's Super Bowl champion rooting us on. He did give us his A-OK. He wants us to repeat, even though he's not affiliated with the team. I cannot say his name for legal reasons, but we're looking forward to it. And we wish Tom the best of luck. I'm not going to get too crazy. I don't want to start going off on him, because if I do, it can come back to bite me.
Okay. There's Eric's take on the whole situation leading up. Stock Cars Super Bowl 12 Eve Media Day, live in the offices of the Street to the Finish NASCAR Fantasy League. So we just want to thank you for joining us, your insight, your creative thinking of how you got to the Super Bowl, great season. And once again, you have a chance to do something that is very, very difficult in this league. Just to make the Super Bowl is tough enough. GMs in this league have been waiting 20, 25 years to get into the Super Bowl or win a championship. You have a chance to win 2 years in a row. So it's a very special thing. There's only 2 GMs left out of 21 GMs total. So this is a very challenging championship to win. 3 rounds you have to win. So we wish you good luck tomorrow. Thank you for taking time out for Super Bowl Media Day. And we wish you the best of luck in tomorrow's race at Richmond.
Thank you very much for having me, and I appreciate you taking time out of your day to have the conversation here on Super Bowl Eve.
Thank you.